What if your favorite EDC tool suddenly became illegal overnight? In a crisis, the first things to get banned aren't the big weapons. They're the small, silent tools that give you control. It was supposed to be just another quiet Thursday. John had his multi-tool in his backpack like always, small, practical, unnoticed. But downtown, a protest spiraled into a riot. Within hours, martial law was declared, police checkpoints went up, curfews started. That night, John was stopped while walking home, a flashlight beam in his eyes. "Empty your bag," the officer said. As he pulled out the multi-tool, another officer stepped in. "Is that a blade?" John tried to explain it was just a tool for work, for emergencies, but it didn't matter. "Unregistered weapon," they said. "Step to the side." He wasn't arrested, but his bag was taken. No explanation, no receipt, just gone. That's when he realized the tools that help you survive are the same ones that make you a threat in the eyes of panic. And the scariest part? They didn't take it because of what it was, but because of what it could become. What nobody tells you about emergency crackdowns is this: they don't start by banning what's obvious. They target the quiet ones first, the prepared ones, the everyday people who carry gear not to fight, but to endure. If you're watching this, you're likely one of them. You carry gear for protection, for survival, for responsibility. But in the first 48 hours of a real emergency, all of that can backfire. Laws bend, rules disappear, and your preparedness can turn into suspicion. You need to know which items in your pocket are ticking time bombs, not because they'll hurt anyone, but because they make you harder to control. Let's start with something simple: a folding knife. It's one of the most basic EDC tools. Every camper, hiker, or handyman has one. But in times of fear, perception flips. The same object that opens boxes or cuts rope becomes a symbol of danger. It's legal now, until the declaration of a state of emergency. In dozens of cities, a folding knife instantly turns into a felony weapon under curfew conditions. And if it's spring-assisted, you don't even get to explain. That motion, just opening the blade, is what gets you flagged. But there are even more innocent tools that disappear faster than knives. So what about gear with no blade at all? You're not ready for number 2, a tactical flashlight. On the surface, it's harmless. It lights your way, finds your keys, illuminates the trail. But a tactical flashlight, especially one over 1,000 lumens, with a jagged bezel, has a dark side in the eyes of authority. You use it every day. But it also blinds, disorients, and strikes. In riot zones and curfew orders, it's labeled military grade. Officers are trained to confiscate potential striking tools, and these flashlights are at the top of the list. And if you think that's strict, just wait for number 3. You probably carry number 3 right now, and it's hiding more than you think. The multi-tool, the crown jewel of EDC, screwdrivers, pliers, scissors, mini-saws, even a can opener, a survivalist's best friend. But in a crisis, it's not what it does that matters, it's what it could do. It's made for convenience, but it's full of sharp edges, mini blades, even glass breakers. Authorities often classify them as burglary tools or unregistered weapons kits, especially if found near sensitive areas, banks, checkpoints, hospitals. One moment it's your go-to gadget, the next, it's evidence. But the next item? You wouldn't expect it to be banned. And yet, it is. Number 4 is so simple, so basic. It sounds like science fiction, until it's not. Compact fire starters. You carry them for camping, for emergencies, ferro, rods, magnesium blocks, waterproof matches. But in disaster zones, especially during blackouts, wildfires, or riots, fire-starting gear is seen as arson waiting to happen. It's survival 101, but in the wrong hands, or even just in the wrong time, it's classified as a threat. During the California wildfires, these items were banned from evacuation centers. In Europe, they've been restricted in urban protest zones. The logic? If you don't need fire, why do you have it? A tiny spark, a pocket full of suspicion. But even more dangerous than fire is information. That's what number 5 is all about. The last item isn't even physical, but it terrifies officials. More than any blade ever could. Encrypted flash drives. This isn't about weapons, it's about control. In times of digital lockdown, encrypted USB drives are flagged as non-cooperative data devices. You store your maps, medical files, emergency contacts. But if the data can't be read, it's assumed to be hiding something dangerous. Some countries require immediate decryption on demand. Refuse, and the drive is destroyed, or worse, you're detained. It's not the plastic shell they fear, it's the ideas it protects. Here's the truth. In a world that can change, overnight the tools you trust might be turned against you, not because they're dangerous, but because they make you harder to control. In real emergencies, independence is treated as resistance. But you know better. You're not a threat. You're ready. So keep learning, stay sharp, stay discreet, and remember, survival isn't just about what you carry, it's about what you can keep. Want to know which tools still fly under the radar even in lockdowns? Watch the next video. 5 EDC items they'll never confiscate unless they watch this.